So you've got more stories about Jezebel and Ahab for me? Yes, sir, I do. Amazing. I was surprised when you said they were going to continue their foolish worship of Baal, though. Yes, in defiance of all logic and reason, they simply refused to believe the miraculous sign God gave them last time, when he magically ignited his bonfire while Baal's was left ignored. That's the one, sir, yes. Now, you said witnesses hit the ground at this obvious sign of God. Oh yes, as soon as the flames fell on Yahweh's bonfire and ignited it, the people fell prostrate and said, "The Lord, he is God." Wait, they say the Lord is God? Yes, twice. That doesn't make any sense. They're Baal worshippers, right? Of course. Wouldn't they refer to Baal as their Lord, while Elisha's God they would call by some other name like Yahweh? Oh yeah. So shouldn't you have them saying, Yahweh, he is God? I guess so. Whoops. Whoopsie. I'll fix it later. Please do, that's confusing. So Ahab was in attendance for this cow flaming miracle, right? Oh, absolutely. So that is so weird if you think about it. Why would Ahab ignore this clear and obvious sign of God while everyone else around him was groveling in fear? I don't know. The credulous simpletons of these primitive times are always more than ready to believe in gods, wouldn't you agree? I hate it when you do that, sir, but yes, they believe some of the stupidest stuff I come up with. That you come up with. I mean, they'll believe just about anything. Right. So, if a soaking wet pile of meat and wood burst into flame after fire miraculously descended upon it, any human in these barbaric times would certainly believe that there was a deity behind it all, right? That follows. Yet eyewitness Ahab apparently does not. Well, he just sort of ignores it, really. Can you give me a reason why Ahab doesn't act like a real human being in this situation? Nope. Is God hardening his heart? This kind of reminds me a bit of that whole thing with Pharaoh back in Exodus. Look, sir, I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about these people's reactions being at odds with how actual humans behave. Sure, let me get off that thing. Great. So, Jezebel hears about the miracle and how 450 prophets of Baal were killed by Elijah with the sword, and she sends a messenger to tell Elijah that he's as good as dead. Ooh. Come on, isn't it going to be hard to scare a man who has God on his side and who's managed to kill 450 of the royal family's prophets? Actually, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yep, as soon as he hears Jezebel's threat, Elijah gets scared and he runs for his life. What? He's so scared, he lies under a bush and prays to die. Who is this guy and what has he done with Elijah? Same dude? Are you going to justify his shocking change in character in any way? Oh, hell no. Wow. Nope, he just complains to the Lord that the Israelites have rejected the one true God, killed his prophets, and now they're coming after him. Well, surely God knows all that already. I thought an exposition dump might be appropriate here to pad the runtime. Sure, that might as well happen. So in response, God makes this big, windy, earthquakey show of divine meteorological activity. Why? I don't know. Well, okay then. And Elijah comes out after this and repeats the exact same exposition dump as before. Does God repeat the same big, windy, earthquakey show of divine meteorological activity as before too? No, I just thought I'd ask. Well, he doesn't. Instead, this time God tells Elijah to anoint a couple of new kings over Israel and Aram, and to find and anoint another prophet, Elisha. There's an Elisha now to go along with Elijah? Ah, yes. God damn it. I knew you'd like that. Oh, whatever. So how the heck is Elisha supposed to anoint? Elijah supposed to anoint all these people. He's scared, he's on the run, and why would the pagan Hazael give a damn what a prophet of God thinks anyway? How'd you know that one of the kings that Elijah is supposed to anoint is Hazael? It was in the graphic. Oh, right. Well, it's all extremely unclear how a hunted fugitive is supposed to accomplish any of this. Huh. And in fact, Elijah never actually manages to accomplish the anointings of those two kings. Why would an omniscient being task Elijah with something if he knows he's not going to be able to do it? Hey, shut up. So Elijah does find Elisha while Elisha is plowing a field one day. Okay. And Elijah just walks up and puts his cloak around Elisha without saying a word. How very odd. Yeah, it's a super unnatural scene with no dialogue beyond Elisha telling Elijah that he's going to go tell his parents goodbye. Did Elijah get a heads up from God so he'd know? I think you mean Elisha here. Did Elisha get a heads up from God that he'd be taking over from Elijah? There's nothing here about that. So he's just plowing away, clueless about any of this, when some random stranger walks up and without a word puts a cloak around him. Yes, and somehow he knows that he's supposed to go with the stranger. That appears to be what I'm implying. And with no discussion whatsoever, he's just going to tell his folks bye and then he's out of there. That's what we're going with. Wow. But not before he kills the oxen he was working with and cooks them with the wood from his plow. Christ, this one's making my brain hurt. What's so confusing? Of all the ways you could have indicated the torch being passed from Elijah to Elisha, this is what you came up with. Well, as you may have noticed, sir, I do love a good barbecue. What the hell does a barbecue have to do with... Well, how long has that been there? Try some brisket, sir. It's my specialty. That does look pretty damn good. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, good, huh? Hell yeah. Put a barbecue in there anytime you want. You got it, sir. The aroma, so pleasing.
A few minutes later.
All right. So the barbecue stays. What happens next? Ben-Hadad, the king of Aram, decides to attack Israel. Uh-oh. Yeah, he demands Ahab hand over his silver and gold and the best of his wives and children. Oh, right. Them's fighting words. Actually, Ahab is perfectly fine with that. What? Yep, he says, all I have is yours. What the hell? But when Ben-Hadad comes back and says he also wants the valuables from the palace and the other officials' homes, that's a step too far. So King Ahab would have been perfectly fine with handing over his wives and children. Only the best of them, but yes, the best of them. What does that even mean? No idea. But when Ben-Hadad wants to loot the homes of Ahab and his officials as well, that's where Ahab draws the line. Correct. Wow. This Ahab is a real hero, huh? He's just about the worst. So God, seeing Ahab's reprehensible choices, gives Ahab the attitude adjustment he so desperately needs. Not at this time, no. Well, God is at least going to allow the despicable Ahab to get his clock cleaned by Aram, right? No, God is actually going to bail him out. Seriously. Yes, God sees this as another opportunity to try to win over Ahab and prove to him that it is he, Yahweh, who is the one true God. What a great message you have going here. Thank you, sir. So yeah, sure enough, even though they're hopelessly outnumbered by the forces of Aram, with God's intervention, Israel wins the fight. Was there anything in particular about this battle that revealed divine involvement? Let's see. A wall collapses on 27,000 of the Arameans. How the heck does that happen? Dude, I don't even know. Oh, and did I mention the Aramean generals got drunk beforehand? Okay, this is a complete mess. And there's this whole thing where the Arameans think the reason they lost was because they were fighting a hill god in the hills. So they figure if they try again, but on the plains, they'll be able to prevail. And God is kind of pissed that the Arameans were thinking he was just a god of the hills and not a god of the valleys. Oh my God. So when the second attack comes, he totally gives the Arameans over to Israel again. Oy vey. And that way they'll understand without a doubt that he is the one true God. Okay, can we be done now? And then out of nowhere, God makes this unnamed prophet ask his companion to strike him with his weapon. And his companion is like, no, I'm not doing that, you weirdo. And so the prophet replies, because you didn't obey the Lord by striking me with your weapon, a lion is going to kill you. Oh, the fuck? And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. What the hell is going on? And then Ahab and Ben-Hadad make up and become brothers. Stop. Did you all forget to take your Ritalin? What the heck is Never mind, we're stopping here right now. Got it? Got it. Christ. I don't suppose this is the last of these. Just one more. God